Driving up the hill to Smithville, gonna grab a biscuit, make another stop or two, and then get back to the office by probably about 8:15 if I can do that. Living in Liberty with Peewee. Peewee here, just coming up Snow's Hill there. The fog has rolled in. It's how I was driving past Salem Cemetery. You know, it's kind of cool living next to a historic cemetery like Salem Cemetery. And even living next door to the church, it has its pros and cons. I assure you, if you've never lived next to a church or a public place like that, like right next to a business where during the night and all times during the day there's people pulling in and out of the parking lot, and you're always wondering what people are doing, that type of thing. It's interesting living next to a church, I assure you, it's interesting. But living next to this historic cemetery at Salem, I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bodies are being deposited into the ground at Salem Cemetery. Thousands of people buried over there. And it's kind of interesting living next door to a lot of people that have been placed in the ground. Now listen, they're our family and friends, so I don't, no disrespect there, but a lot of bones, a lot of bones next to our house, next to the church, and the cemetery is full of dead bones. And I always say that one of these mornings like today, the fog was rolling in over Salem Cemetery. I thought, it'd be amazing if the rapture of the church takes place when you're walking past the cemetery and all those bodies rise, and then in the twinkling of an eye we're raptured up and we meet the Lord in the air. So I'm thankful, because I'd probably pass out. It would probably be a scene and a half to see all of that. But anyhow, just making a fairly routine run up to Smithville on a Wednesday. It's a sermon prep day today. I'm always excited to see where we're going in sermon prep, especially this is Wednesday. It's the week after Easter. So what I'm doing today, a lot of times I'm working ahead. I've got a sermon series I'm in, and I've got a really good idea of where we're going, and sometimes it's closer to the Sunday to kind of find out. So, but I've been doing this 25 years, so I don't get too worried about the process. I trust the Lord, and He always gives me something to preach. In fact, one of the deals I made with the Lord, He was calling me to preach, and I said, well, you're going to have to do the bulk of this. That's what I told the Lord when He was calling me to preach. And I think His word back to my heart was, that's what He plans to do. That's what He likes to do best. And so, but I felt like He promised me that He would always give me something to preach, and He has been faithful to do that. So today, though, I will go back and I will study, and I will, I'm on some new ground. It's the week after Easter, so I finished up a series in 1 Corinthians 15 here recently, about 5 Sundays, where I was preaching under the title of Risen, and we were in 1 Corinthians 15, and then tonight I finish up a series in 1st and 2nd Corinthians. I finish up 1 Corinthians. Tonight I'm finishing up chapter 16, and then we'll pause a little bit before I go into 2nd Corinthians. But today I find myself working towards Sunday with like a blank slate, just asking the Lord what would He have me preach, to help me know it. And once you know the passage, I know this is preacher talk, once you know the passage of kind of where He's leading you, that digging it out and doing the word studies and looking at the original language and breaking it down in its context and all of these things, and then looking at the application of how that can affect, or really what you and I should do with what we've just heard. That's the fun part. relatively easy. I don't want to say it's really easy, but the longer you go in preaching, the easier that does become. You begin to trust how God works all of these things out. But anyhow, just cruising through Smithville today. I'm fixing to make a couple stops. Living Liberty with Peewee. I'll be back in just a minute probably. This video's aimless, so this is probably episode number 88 or so. I'm not sure what episode this is, but it may be an aimless episode, so we'll see. One of my church members is in front of me there. Listen, I'm wearing a Liberty Star Arms hat today. If you're in the DeKalb County, Smithville area, be sure and stop in and see Donnie and his crew at Liberty Star Arms. A little plug for them. Local gun store, outdoors type items there. Ammo, you name it. They've got all kinds of different merchandise in their clothing, and check out Liberty Star Arms. That's a free ad there for them. One of my church members is sitting in front of me. I don't know if she knows I'm behind her or not. No, she does. I'm waving at her. She sees me. Have you noticed that every business you go to wants you to round up? You want to round up for this, round up for that? And I just told that lady at McDonald's, listen, I support the Ronald McDonald House. There's times we give to that, but they're like, do you want to round up? I'm like, with inflation like it is, who can afford to round up every time? Every time you go check out somewhere, they want you to round up, give more. And that's just, it's nauseating to me. It just is. It's like everybody wants you to, prices are high, and they want you to go ahead and give another $1 for something else. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to give to the Hungry Kids Foundation, which are my hungry kids. Amen. The people at this McDonald's are so nice. The morning crew really kicks it. They're on it. Thank you. You have a good one. The morning crew at the McDonald's in Smithville, Tennessee, they are after it. The manager here, I don't know his name. I need to get to know his name. The manager here, when I see him at the window, or if I see him inside, I'm making a point to tell him about at least once a month that he's got an incredible morning crew. Now the afternoon to the evening crew, not so much. I don't know, they're just, in the evening it gets crazy at that McDonald's. But the morning crew, they're on point. They are on point. I'm proud of them. They're like Chick-fil-A almost. So my channel is called Living in Liberty with Peewee. This channel is about 5 years old. Been doing this channel for about 5 years. Unbelievable. But you notice that I'm always in other places. Now I'm in Liberty some. There's potholes here. I'm in Liberty some for sure, but there's always this having to go other places. Listen, when you live in Liberty, if you're listening to this or watching this from Ohio or Kentucky or some other place, when you live in Liberty, you're going to have to go somewhere else to do some things. I mean, you are. Now, you're not going to have to go somewhere else to go to the creek and go fishing or walk through a nice quiet town for a stroll with your dog. No, you can do that in Liberty. We've got tennis courts there. We've got one gas station there. We've got some good churches there. Hey, but you find yourself having to go out and go other places to do your business, like to buy things and go pick up what you've got to pick up, the errands you've got to run. You find yourself going up the hill to Smithville quite often, and so this Living in Liberty with Peewee channel is basically riding shotgun with the preacher, and we just, sometimes you got to go other places. Today I've got a couple of stops in Smithville, then I'm back to the office, like I said a minute ago. But anyhow, every now and then somebody will say, your channel's about Liberty, but you'll show something from Ohio when you visit your daughters. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of a video diary of what goes on in my life a little bit, not 100%, but a little bit. And well, maybe that's boring. It's boring to live this life occasionally, but anyhow, there's one of my church members there. Listen, we got a lot of people that live in Liberty that are on top of the hill in Smithville. So I've seen 3 this morning so far, and I'm following one as we go back through town before I make a couple of stops. Thanks for riding along, and let's see where this video goes today. All right, I made a couple of necessary stops on top of the hill. Again, for you folks that are not from DeKalb County, on top of the hill means that we are on top of Snows Hill. We're in an area called the Highland Rim. And when you come off Snows Hill, we're going to go down Snows Hill right now on this video. It's a big hill. I don't know if this video or this, this view that you have will reveal how big this hill is, but we're on a little bit of a plateau here. Smithville is. Liberty is down in the valley. Liberty is down in the lowland. It's at the base of all these hills, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Listen, I grew up on top of the hill in Smithville, but Liberty is astounding. Liberty is beautiful. I love living down below the hills so you can see the hills, because when you're in Smithville, for the most part, you're on flat ground, and if you drive, 2 or 3, 4, 5 miles any direction, just about, you hit the hills, you hit the lake, unless you're going toward McMinnville on Highway 56 south, then you remain on flat ground. So but Smithville's flat, but down here you can see these hills, and right here you're going to see some fog. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, the fog right there. It's the ride down Snows Hill is beautiful. And my wife, when she's coming home from work, when the sun's going down, like in the fall when the time has changed, it's like a beautiful, beautiful scene coming down Snows Hill. Of course, my family says I've got a thing for Short Mountain. I like to look for Short Mountain from everywhere. Wherever I'm at, I like to look and see if I can see Short Mountain. And but beautiful driving down this hill. Years ago, it was 2 lanes. For those of you that are not from here, and it was the view, you really couldn't see as much because the road was more narrow. There was trees kind of overhanging the road a little bit. The bluff on each side of the road was kind of closer to you, that kind of thing. But a beautiful drive down the hill this morning. That fog, it was foggy when I left a little bit ago. I've made a couple of necessary stops on my way back to the office now. Maybe the title of this video is The Road to Nowhere. I don't know. I've not really covered anything significant in this video, but appreciate you riding shotgun with me. If you like these videos, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. That would be great. It helps it push out there. I do share a lot of devotional type things and little words, word of encouragement or something biblical in a lot of these videos, so I'm trying to sow seed. If you're new to my channel, or if you're from Ohio or Kentucky, to your right there, that road takes you into Downtown, and then Liberty, and then you come to Alexandria, and then you get to Lebanon, Tennessee, as you're heading on 70. And so downtown, you can have a downtown address though and be on top of the hill. That's kind of strange. You can have a Liberty address and you can live on Pea Ridge, which again is on top of the hill, or Temperance Hall. You could have a Liberty address and live a little bit of everywhere, but Liberty was established first though in this county. So our mailing, the route the mail carriers have to go is with a 37095 area code, zip code. It's huge. And so but here it is, we're going through downtown. Look at the fog. Normally you can see these large hills off to the right, and you can't see any of them this morning. You know, that's kind of the way it is though. There's times that you can't see what's right in front of you. Have you ever been that way with God, that you're looking for something from God and He's got something right in front of you and you don't even see it? It's like you're missing what's right in front of you. I've been there, done that before. Anyhow, downtown is everything to your right. We're going to go up this little hill, and then we're going to cruise through Liberty. So stay tuned. All right, we've crested the hill. You can see some of the hills off in the distance there, beyond the fog, and we're going to turn and go through Liberty. Maybe the title of this video is like the old Led Zeppelin song, Ramble On. Maybe it's going to be just Peewee Rambles. There's a nice church sign right there. I bet that church has a good pastor. LOL. Cruising through Liberty. This is some of my stomping ground now. I've been here, lived in Liberty nearly 6 years. This August will be 6 years. There's some buzzards here to your right, some turkey vultures. They're eating on the carcass of a deer that I guess got hit by a car. I'm not sure. They've been eating on that for a couple days. That's pretty gross. But a lot of fog in Liberty. About to cross over the Smith Fork Creek. Yesterday I fished. Yesterday afternoon about 5 o'clock. I jumped on the four-wheeler and went down to Smith Fork Creek and caught a couple of red-eye bass, a couple of rock bass. You know, it's one thing when you live in Liberty, you're within a stone's throw from the creek, so you can go fish for 20 or 30 minutes. It's doesn't have to be a planned event. You just keep a rod and reel ready and go. Kind of moping through Liberty. Do you use that word mope? Moping. I'm moping through Liberty, coming back in toward the office. We have a running joke at our church that me and a gentleman named Kenneth Ray, that we police our town. Of course, we don't have any police in our town, but me and Kenneth Ray, we kind of keep the peace here. We kind of drive these roads and kind of make sure everybody's doing their thing. Make sure no one crazy is doing something here, but cruising through Liberty, all is well and all is quiet. Of course, it's still early. It's just now about a little after 8 o'clock or so in the morning. My run to Smithville was an early one, but all is quiet here. Tennis courts on the right, basketball goals. Pretty little town. This little area right through here I like. I like these overhanging trees in these front yards. People in Liberty are just great. Little sidewalk over on your right side there. Approaching the cemetery up here on the left. Don't know if the fog has lifted over it. It has. This morning when I come out, the cemetery was absolutely foggy to the 10th degree. Salem Baptist Church coming up on the left. Well, back in Liberty here, going to get back in the office. So this video, I'm going to say the title is Ramble On. If you were waiting for some major content on this video or some kind of major discourse from me or some discussion, I apologize if you're disappointed, but living in Liberty with Peewee, this is just maybe a run with me. Thank you for riding shotgun with the preacher, and we'll see you next time.